Hey everybody, today I want to talk about the elbow rehab that I'm going through for my sprained UCL. If you want to see how I sprained it, go ahead, check out the Utah arm wrestling page. You'll find it there in the after pull videos. I'm pretty sick right now. All this stuff is clogged up, so I apologize for my voice or for any grossness that'll occur during this video. I'm doing this regardless of my regardless of my future in arm wrestling. I do want to get my elbow healthy. So I'll just take you through what I do here. First thing is I'll just create some pressure to try to pop the elbow because, just like your other joints, there's synovial fluid and you want to shift that pressure because when there's that synovial fluid in here, the elbow actually feels really good and there's no tension on the UCL. But as soon as it pop, if you're doing an exercise and that pops away, the pressure will suddenly shift to the UCL and it could be too much and it can hurt you. So just try to loosen up the joints and crack everything out and then move to a really light band, okay? Now, I'll just basically do a movement like this, all right? I'm adducting the humerus towards the body and slightly internally rotating. It's not just straight sideways like this, but I actually open the arm a little bit because I want the direction of this pressure to not just go perpendicular to my forearm, but I also want it to be pulling my forearm away from my humerus slightly because that's what the UCL does. It holds it not just in this, it doesn't just hold it in this rotation, but it also pulls the humerus in. So, or pulls the forearm into the humerus. So I'll just do this and just try to warm the elbow up. And the important things for getting healed up are doing a lot of movement so you don't get locked up in positions, and then isometric loads. So yeah, all sorts of stuff. Try to get a lot of different angles in there. And I've already done all of this, so I'm moving quickly from one movement to the other, but normally I would take a minute or two and rub myself out and all of that. It's important to, when you're injured, muscle, tendon, ligament, whatever, to do little massages and things to keep things loose and from knotting up. Then I'm moving on to the isometrics. I'm doing this with a belt. You see I got the belt connected to this pulley. I have the chain that I loop around the tower through the carabiner so that after a few inches range of motion, where I'm lifting the weight on the tower for a few inches, it hits that chain and then it's tight, okay? This is how you measure your progress. You can do overcoming isometrics without that load, but you're gonna have a hard time, one, tracking how hard you're able to push, which is your progress, but two, you're also gonna have a difficult time when you're building for strength, pushing as hard as you should, because the thing's not gonna move at all. You don't have that intuitive sense of how close you are to failure. Anyway, so I'll do this before I move the weight. There's only 20 pounds on here, but before that, when I started this out, it was like a week and a half ago. I was only doing the carriage, which is like 10 pounds. Well, the carriage is 8, but I permanently attached a 2.5 to it, so it's about 10 pounds. And I'll just sit here in the center of the table. I have my wrist back and my arm outside my shoulder a little bit. Again, not just straight sideways internal rotation, but a little bit pulling my forearm away from my humerus because that's the position that you'll feel the most stress on your UCL. And it's very similar to the position where I popped the UCL. It's just instead of going that way, everything was in here and it was going this way. But it's just rotating the body. It doesn't actually change the direction on the arm. Okay, so wrist back. It's important to have the wrist back and to not be gripping because you don't want the muscles in your forearm and the common flexor tendon to be tight. If they're tight, the force will go from your humerus through your tendons and muscles and not stress the UCL. So you're not going to stimulate the UCL to grow and repair. When you're actually arm wrestling, you want to keep all of this stuff tight. For example, right now, if I flex my wrist, I can go really, really, really hard to the side. I can even hook people, I think. I might even be able to throw a press on the dude as long as I have my wrist bent, because all that force is going through here. But with the wrist back and not holding that tension through here, it's very, very vulnerable. Anyway, so I won't even move for the first isometric. I'll just lean into this a little bit and I won't move the carriage. I'll be very light, okay? Like I can feel that's where the carriage is gonna move. I stay behind it a little bit. I stay below that pressure. Wrist back, no grip. Just to get my body used to the idea of doing an isometric and get myself neurologically ready for it, all that jazz, okay? So I'll do that. Maybe I'll do 2 of those. It just depends on how the elbow feels. Keep rubbing it in between movements, all that. Then when it comes time to actually do the isometrics, I'll take the tension out and I'll take it so that the chain is tight. When I'm doing this to build strength, I won't do this. I'll actually go through that few inches range of motion and then pin it against the chain. But when I'm repairing myself, I'll do it this way. It's a little safer, okay? I should start with the wrist bent and squeezing it, find that position, and then I'll let everything go slowly. And I am pushing into this chain as hard as I feel comfortable. I can go harder and feel a lot of pain. Right now what I'm doing is I am trying to just tickle that discomfort, and I'll move my arm a little bit. I'll move my body position until I feel the position that's worst. It's right about there. Just the slightest little burn. And I'll do that for about 20 seconds. Okay, that felt pretty good. I'll do it for when I start these, when I'm really injured, like I was, I'm doing 30 seconds with no load. And I'll go from, let's say, 20 to 30 seconds. If I can do 4 of these for 30 seconds each, usually that means it's not painful enough, and I, so to speak, I'll add a little bit of weight. I might go up to 25 pounds here. I'll do my next one in about half a minute. I'll go up to 30 seconds on that one, and I was doing 30 seconds the other day, so I think it's fine. This one felt pretty good. So I'll go up to 25 pounds. It's been almost a minute since the last one. You can take as much time in between these as you want. The idea is I like to target 4 hard-ish isometrics. That last one wasn't, so maybe I'll do more. It's all about feel. When you're doing really hard isometrics, when you're healthy and you're building strength, you'll get a little bit of like a jello feeling in your tendons and ligaments, because you get a lot of blood flow, but also you just put a lot of tension on them and now they're relaxed, and it's just kind of a strange feeling. So I like to wait until that jello feeling goes away. It's almost like a total weakness in the arm, or at least in that structure, but that's a good thing. It means you're probably doing it right. Okay, here's the next one. So I'll do this for about 30 seconds. And I'm actually pushing on this chain pretty hard, I feel like, so I'm definitely ready to go up when I hit the 30-second mark. It's important to keep the hold times high because it forces you to use lighter weight, but also you get that time under tension. Your body will respond to load and time under tension, and I think that's 30 seconds there. Your body responds to load and to time under tension when you're healing up these connective structures. Ideally, you want as high a percentage of your maximum capability, and when you're injured, that maximum capability is pretty shit. So you want to avoid pain. If you're at pain, it means you're really, really close to, damage. So try to avoid that. You just stay behind that, but get as close as you can without feeling any kind of sharp burn. Okay. And the more time under tension you're experiencing, the more your body wants to adapt. Now, if you do it too much, you do it too hard, you might find yourself struggling to recover. But for ligaments, the rules are basically the same as for bones. And as you get towards the muscle in terms of hardness, like you go from bone, ligament, tendon, muscle, it becomes more about dynamics, and about, for strength, it's more about short-term high load or explosivity. My brain's not really working here, so I'm not going to get into detail on this. But as you get towards the bone and hardness, it's more important to just keep static load over longer periods of time, and that'll cause the cortical remodeling in your bone. All right, you know, really short term, low frequency impacts are not going to cause that kind of cortical remodeling. It's better to have a consistent tension applied in whatever direction you're trying to strengthen your bone, or completely reshape the bone. I mean, you could put a brace on. I mean, this would be stupid, but you could put a brace on your arm that's constantly applying pressure to your humerus, like trying to bend it out. And over time, your humerus will actually adapt to that. It'll actually start to bend out, which would be terrible. Nobody would do that, but they do that with, anyway. So there's 25 pounds here. I'll do this for 20 seconds. Find that position. Maybe I'll go up. Actually, this doesn't feel bad at all. But I'll find out when I get to 20 seconds. No, I think it's just about perfect right now. Because I'm pushing pretty hard on this, and I'm just starting to, throughout the isometric, I feel the burn starting to grow. It's very slight, and I want to stay away from any kind of sharp pain. Okay. So, yeah, what I'll do is I'll do 3 more of those at 25 pounds for 20 seconds. And then, so I'm doing this rehab every other day. I'm getting plenty of protein in. That's important. Yeah, that's the basics of how I do this. I'll do 3 more of those. Then I'll go, after I've done that, I'll go right back to the band, just get some more movement, rub my arm out, and then go do something else. Like go back to sleep and continue to heal myself up. So anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys later, I guess. If you got a UCL injury, try this out. If you need help, just keep watching this video, go back to watch this again. Anyway, I'll see you guys around.